Welcome everybody to my channel, Our Green Acres, and if you're new today, my name is Teresa. So today's video is going to be so much fun, especially for me because I love lamps. And if you love lamps as much as I do, I think you're really going to love this video because it's packed full of inspiration and ideas of how we can take some simple items that we may have around the house and we can repurpose our lamps and our lampshades. So I hope y'all get lots of inspiration and ideas today, and I hope you enjoy the video. So y'all, let's upcycle some lamps. If you haven't joined my Facebook home decor page, I'd love for you to go over and join it, and also go over and follow me on Pinterest and Instagram. Okay, the first lamp we're going to work on is going to be one that I purchased from a thrift store, and I'm going to show you how we can spray paint a lampshade. It's because I've always wanted to try this, and as you can see, it's got a nice lampshade, but the color is, it's very dark. And I'm also, in just about all these lamps that I'm going to repurpose in this video, I'm going to spray paint the lamp post. And on this one, I'm going to spray paint it with Rust-Oleum white spray paint. And I'm just showing you all the really pretty ornate features of this. I don't distress any of the lamps that I do for this video, but you totally could. You could also distress them. And then I just took it outside, and using some ultra matte black Rust-Oleum spray paint, I just went over and did some light layers, and you let them dry between each one. And I maybe did 2 or 3 coats of paint on this. And like I say, the key is just do light layers, let it dry between each coat, and then just go back and just kind of spray paint it. And I think it turned out really good because I've always wanted to try to spray paint a lampshade, so we can. So there is one way that's budget friendly of how you can repurpose lampshades without having to go out and purchase a new one. You can spray paint them, and you see how pretty it pairs with that white lamp post. It almost now has that little French country flair to it, and I'm just showing you some embellishments that you can add to the lampshade. And of course, you can add bows to it to bring out some more color to it. You could add some IOD stamps to it. You could stencil it. So I just want to show you the different options now that we have with this really pretty lamp that we've now turned into like a little French country piece. The next lamps we're going to work on, first one I'm going to show you is going to be a Shabby Chic lamp. And I got this set of lamps at a thrift store, and I paid $25 for the set. So I've got about $12.50 into each one. As you can see, the posts are really nice. They've got some really nice ornate features, but they're black. So I'm going to spray paint them white with Rust-Oleum spray, white spray paint. And I'm also going to show you how we can repurpose these lampshades a few ways. And the first one I'm going to do is going to be a little Shabby Chic, and then the next way I'm going to show you if we go and purchase a new one and the money that we can save by doing it ourselves. So I'm just showing you the ornate features to it, and I'd put some painter's tape over that hardware where the bulb goes in, but I end up spray painting it white, or you can go over it with a brush and just paint that white, because it will show on one of the lampshades we're going to use. But I'm showing you 2 ways you can remove the lampshade. If you've got some strong hands in your household, you go for it. You just pull that lampshade off. So I've got Ben, he's got some strong hands, and he just went with where the trim was. It comes off real easy, and it's just going to depend on your lampshade, how well it's made and what it's made with, if it's glued or and how old it is too. A lot of them, if fabric is dry rotted, it would probably rip off a lot easier. But you just basically want the skeleton of the lampshade. Now, the one I did, I just got my scissors and I cut it off, so you can also go that route. But now that you've got the skeleton of the lampshade, now we're going to want to spray paint it white. So basically, we want the whole lamp to be white. Now, you'll also want to spray paint your lamp harps and also the finials that will attach the lampshade. And depending on the size of your lamp, you can get different sizes of harps, and that will adjust the way that your lampshade will fit, on top of your lamp post. So now I'm just going to take, and you can take any kind of fabric or ribbons that you have. And of course, I'm using flour sackcloth because I always have this on hand, and it's very budget friendly because you can get 1 flour sackcloth for $1 at Dollar General. I get them in a pack of 2. And so I just ripped them long ways, and I kept that little seamed edge on it, and it was long enough for my lampshade. Now I'm just going to go around and I'm going to add this is probably about 1.5 inches wide, my strips. And like I say, I just ripped the whole flour sackcloth, the length of it, and that's what I went with. And you tie them in a knot. And I went around, I added one to each of those wires of my lampshade, and then I'm going to go in between each one. When I get all those tied on, I'm going to go in between each one of those, and then I'm going to add another one. So basically on each panel of my lampshade, I'm going to have, 3 ribbons tied on. And like I say, this is going to depend on what kind of lampshade you're using, and how the structure of it, is designed. But I'm just tying them in a single loop here, but then after I got to working on it, they needed to be tied in a knot so they would stay, in place really good. After I got all the lampshade covered like I wanted it, and I'm showing you, I've already done one completely because a lot of times before I come on video and do a lot of footage, I like to make a prototype of what I'm making just to make sure it's going to work out the way that I want to, put it in the video. So I've already got my prototype made. So now I'm showing you on the other lampshade that's, the skeleton, and I've spray painted it white also. I'm just showing you one of the panels of how I did it, and I'll go all the way around the lampshade, of course. But now I'm just taking strips of fabric, and the first fabric I showed you, I purchased that at Walmart in the in the fabric section, and it was really pretty, and it had like that little French flair to it. So I'm just showing you, you just kind of like how you make a rag wreath. You just want to tie those little strips all the way around the bottom of your lamp shade, and then I just went through after I got it done, and then I just trimmed them up. If you have some that are a little bit longer, just kind of trim it up as you go and just fluff it up, and see how cute this turned out. And now I did not turn the bulb on because when I did, there was such a glare and that bulb was so bright. So I filmed with the bulb off, but it looks really pretty with the light on it. And see what a very inexpensive lampshade that we just made by repurposing the lampshade that we had. If you like this video so far, I hope you'll hit that like button. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'd love for you to. Now I'm going to show you a different option for a lampshade. Of course, you can go out and buy a new one. This one I purchased at Walmart. It was $20 for this size, and I think this was an 18 or 20 inch lampshade. But I'm just trying to show you different ideas and different costs. You know, if we make our own, how much more budget friendly it is than if we go out and buy a new lampshade. Of course, this is a beautiful lampshade, but if I would have, put a lampshade on both of my lamps, that would have been $40 just in lampshades. So I'm just, like I say, I'm just trying to give y'all, different ideas and of how much things cost. So now for the next lamp I'm going to show you how you can recover a lampshade. So I got this little lamp, and I think I paid $5 for it at a thrift store. It's got a little black base, and it's a little shorter lamp. And it's got like, a little smaller of a lampshade to it. And I'm going to, of course, I'm going to spray paint the base of this one, and I'm going to spray paint it white. And I did the same thing to the lampshade. I ripped off that, that older original lampshade that was on it. I took that off, and now I've got the little skeleton. And I'm going to take some more fabric that I purchased at Walmart. And I just kind of hot glued it and got it on the lampshade. But basically, I just cut my fabric so I could roll my lampshade around in it, completely all the way around. You want to make sure you have enough fabric. I'd rather have too much fabric than not enough. And I'm just going to work from the top through the bottom. I secure the top real good with some hot glue, and I work in sections. Then I turn it over, and I secure the bottom of that section down on that bottom rim. And you just want to keep pulling it tight as you go around. And that's kind of the object. Just kind of work it around as you go, and just kind of shape it and pull out any wrinkles that you can. And I just went all the way around. You can trim and cut your fabric as you go. I just kind of went with mine as long as I could, because I was so afraid if I cut it, I could cut it too short. And then when I got to the end, my fabric wouldn't line up. So I just keep going around the little, lampshade. And now I'm getting a little bit braver. I'm thinking, okay, I'm almost to the end. I'm going to trim. So I trimmed it up a little bit. And then I'm just going to, and when you get to the end, you're not going to come around and be, you're not going to have a straight edge, because your lampshade tapers from the top down to the bottom. So the bottom's bigger, of course, and the top is, it tapers in. So what I did was I just kind of went with it. It's going to be a little slanted when I get it finished. You can always turn that to the back, or it really didn't look bad once I got it done. So it really didn't bother me. I would have been okay if I turned it to the front, because basically what it's going to be, it's going to have like a little overlap, and it's going to kind of go up in a little diagonal. And I'll show you in just a minute what it looks like once I get it glued. And I'm just, gluing it on just to try, to get it finished up. And then once I get it finished, then I'm going to go around and I'm going to trim up all that's on the inside. Now, once you get it trimmed up, if you want it more of a polished look, I took a seam off of a piece of drop cloth, and I always tell y'all in my videos to save those. If you ever rip them off in projects, save them, because they make great trim for things, because they're already seamed up. So I just took a piece of that, and I'm going to go around the inside of my lampshade, because sometimes you'll see that top rim where, depending on where you set your lamp, so you kind of want that to have more of a polished, look to it, and kind of cover up, where we've trimmed that fabric on the inside. So I'm just going to go around the whole top of the lamp. I'm not going to do the bottom, because I'm really not going to see the bottom of the inside. And like I always tell y'all, always, use fabrics when you're working with heat, as far as a lamp and a bulb. Always use fabrics with that heat that are compatible with each other. You don't want anything, I don't want to catch anybody's homes on fire. So just always make sure your fabric is not close to that heat, and just be, just use safety precautions on when you're doing these lampshades. Now, see how cute it looked, and I added an embellishment to it. And that little burlap flower you can also buy at the Walmart craft section. I think it's less than $3. Now I'm going to show you a different option of what we can do with a lampshade. You can stencil lampshades, and I've done a previous video and stenciled one, and I'm going to show you a little bit of footage from that here in just a minute. But this is a lampshade that I purchased at a thrift store, and you can get lampshades a lot of places at thrift stores and yard sales. And if you find them, pick them up, because like I've already showed you in the video, you can spray paint it, or you can leave it its original color and add a stencil to it. Or an IOD stamp. So I'm going to take one of my stencils that I have that I've purchased from Amazon. They'll be linked below down in my Amazon store. And I'm going to take a piece of it. I'm just taking a portion of it. I taped it on my lampshade, and with some black chalk paint, I've just put this really pretty stencil on the front of my lampshade. And I'll show you how pretty this looks and how easy this was. And this didn't take me any time to do this. This is the lampshade that I did in a previous video, and I'll try to find that video and link it down below if you want to see the full tutorial of how I upcycled this lamp and the lampshade. But that's just a stencil, and that stencil is also in my Amazon store. But see how pretty it turns out. Now I'm going to show you how we can put a decorative scrapbook paper on your lamp post. Now this is just another idea. This is another video that I've done in the past. I'll try to find it and link the full video down below. But I repurposed this lamp a while back, and in the video I showed y'all how you can take scrapbook paper. You can wrap it around your lamp post. That also adds a really nice decorative element to it that's very budget friendly, and it really adds to your lamp, and it gives a little bit more pattern and a little bit more color to it. I hope y'all enjoyed seeing today all the ways that you can repurpose lamps. Maybe some lamps that you have at home that are outdated, or maybe you'll see them. Pick them up at the thrift stores and the yard sales. And I just wanted to try to give y'all some ideas and inspiration of the many ways that you can repurpose your lamps and make them really pretty decor pieces in your home. I love y'all, and thanks so much for watching.